Welcome back to the coolest channel on YouTube. Love, smash that like button, man. As y'all can tell, I just got back from a graduation and we got a dinner tonight and everything, man. I'm just trying to stop in and make this video because I've been had this compilation done. I just been everywhere, man. So look, I'll say this, man. Look, we got an interesting video here today, man. Smash that like button. 15,000 likes, man. Look, share these videos with your friends and families. Hype this thing up, man. People need to see it. This is kind of concerning, I'm not gonna lie to you, but also interesting at the same time. We don't tote fear over here, man. We just send positive vibes out here, and I'm not trying to convince you to believe everything. Just let me know how you feel about these videos in the comments down below. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. But look, let's get into this video, and just know if you're going through a tough time, you're not in this life by yourself. Going through this thing called life together. Let's get it.
There's only one rule to entering Earth. Forget who you are. Earth isn't just a planet. It's the greatest experiment in the universe. Consciousness came here knowing it would forget everything, to see if, even in total darkness, the light could be remembered. You chose your body, your family, your role. You entered as a baby and were taught fear and separation. Most forgot completely. God is inside you became, you are separate. But something shifted. Earth entered a new frequency. Across the planet, many arrived disguised as ordinary humans, waiting, sleeping. And now, they're waking up, remembering who they are, dreaming a new Earth into being, built not on fear, but on love. And if you're hearing this, maybe you're one of us.
Listen up. So, according to the X-Files, the Hanta virus is a planned Armageddon with no cure and is instigated by aliens. Just watch.
Are you familiar with the Hanta virus, Agent Mulder?
Look, that's our ship!
Purple!
An emergency message. Outbreak of the deadly virus is spreading rapidly.
A virus?
A worrying new challenge in efforts to contain the Hanta virus.
All we want right now is to feel safe.
For now, nobody is being allowed off the boat.
All ships must remain at sea.
Have fun! My booze!
It's the same disease that killed Betsy Arakawa, the wife of late actor Gene Hackman.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the Hanta virus. I'm saying it wasn't the Hanta virus.
They're buying it. They're buying it.
Your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus. What killed those men? A silent weapon for a quiet war.
This person has only posted 4 times, all in a week in 2022. Their bio says, reads the future. And if you read the post, it says 2023, Corona ended, 2026, hantavirus. It's the only post like this. If you keep reading, Grok confirmed it has not been edited since 2022. Kind of weird, huh? While you're taking a look at that, I'm going to let you know something else that's weird. Bill Gates previously said on The View that the next pandemic could be far more severe than COVID. I'm going to play that video. And then let's also talk about in 2021, Moderna begins their mRNA hantavirus collab. Weird. And to get a little bit more weird, right here is straight from Bill Gates'
Lab and shit. Crazy, right? Collab is crazy.
website, the next pandemic, hantavirus, strange. That's from 2021, by the way.
The next one could be far more severe. I mean, this one, it killed millions. It was awful. We got the vaccine, you know.
You heard how he even said that though. Like he didn't care at all. Obviously, us on this channel know that. The rest of the world needs some more convincing. Maybe this one might change your mind a little bit. I remember them coffins and stuff that they was getting a long time ago. Y'all just think that they just disappeared or something. Okay, let's get back to it.
When y'all first started talking about the Hanta virus, I was reading it like Hant, like H-A-N-T, and I immediately thought of sinners.
I only ever heard stories. I ain't never come across them myself.
What stories you heard?
How Haints work. They switch places with the soul of a man.
Now, I don't mean to sound slow or nothing, but I looked up Hant because I thought the Hant, the scary Hant, had an I in it, but it don't. It's actually spelled H-A-N-T. So it's the Hanta virus. You hear me? I'm putting it together. I'm doing extensive research on Google trying to figure out this virus. And I believe y'all calling it the Hanta virus, but I think it's the Hanta virus. And I think my brain is onto something. Y'all can see me putting it together in real time. I done figured this out. Is y'all on what I'm on? Is y'all brain functioning like my brain? I just need to know that in the comments because I think I'm on to something here.
I could pick up what she coming down there with too, because if you think about it, like, okay, so when you look at the vid, right, spell the vid word backwards, boom, put that joint in Hebrew, right? I seen somebody in the comments talking about it. Okay, put it in Hebrew, boom. That spells it says that it's a spirit or dead person that possesses a living person. Means to cling or attach. We're gonna keep going.
Guys, we officially have an update. The virus on the cruise ship just got confirmed to be the one strain that can spread person to person. And a passenger who left the ship early just tested positive in Switzerland. So the virus on that cruise ship is now officially confirmed to be the Andes strain of hantavirus, which is the only strain in history that has ever been able to spread between humans.
Hantavirus from the cruise ship, stricken with a deadly outbreak of the disease. And meanwhile, experts are confirming there have been cases of a rare strain on the ship that can be transmitted between humans.
And a passenger who got off the ship at a stop before anybody even knew about the outbreak just showed up to a hospital in Switzerland and tested positive. His wife is now in self-isolation, and they are now tracing back every single person that this guy may have been in contact with. 3 more people were just airlifted off the ship today and are now being transferred to hospitals across Europe. The total number of cases
The update we all knew was going to happen. Following reports that a French national who was not on board the cruise liner has contracted hantavirus after taking a flight with an infected passenger. It marks the first case of the deadly disease in a patient who was not on the MV Hondius. It comes as a hantavirus patient who was a passenger on the ship is being treated in Zurich. Fears are also growing that passengers who shared a flight with an infected woman could become super spreaders. Health Organization estimating the deadly hantavirus strain could have up to a 40% mortality. That's right, a 40% mortality rate. A couple of days ago, they were telling us that the chances of this being a human-to-human contact virus was slim to none. They said we had to come in contact with an infected rodent's droppings. Now they've completely changed on that, saying it's most definitely a human-to-human contact virus. The first case of a non-cruise member getting infected happening a day after they started letting all these fools off this ship. How exactly is that possible when it could have an up to 8-week dormant period where you don't even know you're infected going around talking and being around people? Because they had already let infected people off of this cruise ship. They're talking before they even knew what these people were infected with. Even after finding all of this information out, what their people were infected with, why they were dying, the fact that it has a 40% mortality rate, and they were like, no guys, it doesn't spread to human. And then they're like, well, it's okay guys, because this virus is so deadly, it's going to kill people before people have time to infect others. Now they just let this whole cruise ship full of people off of the boat who were from around the world.
Whoa. What we evacuating for? No, hey, whoa, slow your roll. There's too much moving, grooving, vibing, slide going on for me.
Hey, for real, that's what I'm thinking in my head right now, but he just took the words right out of my brain, bro. Like, real talk.
Stay put. What the fuck is going on? They talking about, oh, we gonna evacuate them off the ship, we gonna bring them back to land. No, nobody want them on land. And then come find out, oh yeah, there's a couple people there in America too. Yeah, Georgia, California. Wait, huh? Fuck Cap. Talking about the state that I'm in, nigga. I will say one thing I find a little bit odd about this is Jake from Boston is still the only motherfucker I know that is supposed to be on this boat. You would think if you was getting stranded on a boat and people was barging for air, you guess death around you. I mean, you get on your phone like, yo, I'm stranded. Pray for me, then. God, what the fuck is going on, son? They trying to send me to the upper room early, but it's just like, only person we know about is Jake. That's weird to me. No, Detective L on the case, I found it very odd, maybe a little bit iniquitous, that the Hanta virus went missing, 100 vials in Australia. December 8th, 2024. Now, all of a sudden, ship leaves Argentina, starts moving, grooving, vibing side around the world, stopping in random ass fucking countries. And next thing you know, the Hanta virus, could it be the same culprit? I don't know. I know one thing for sure though. Find whoever was attached to this ship, lock them up. Now, I mean, give them food, give them water, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about prison, but like, comparable. We need to figure out what the fuck's going on. This kills you. I'm not fucking around with that. I'm not dealing with no fucking rat virus. Remember the last pandemic? That's fucked people's lives up. Now, if there's another pandemic, a PPE loan, that's mine. I'll tell you that though.
I hope not. I hope not. We'll do the best we can.
See, Trump saying that is not very confident to me because you be lying with confidence all the time. Now, all of a sudden, when it comes to a new global possible pandemic, it's just, I hope so. We're going to do the best we can. Like, whoa. What the fuck? This could kill too. What do we need to say? Hey, you need to go to war with this pandemic, and next thing you know, you're going to show interest? Talk about fucking, I hope so. Fuck you mean, I hope so. Bitch, figure it out. I say Georgia, California, Arizona. Get them niggas. I know y'all struggle finding people, as we see with the Guthrie case, because all of a sudden, Dweeb Fisheye Patel is now blaming the enforcements. That's a different story, different time. Let me focus on this pandemic. Let's figure this shit the fuck out. Be out there, wash your hands, nigga. Everybody stay clean. I ain't dealing with this shit again.
What if I told you that the Hanta virus is a premeditated psychological operation to facilitate asymmetrical biochemical warfare for the Agenda for 2030, which is the blueprint for the New World Order? Because remember, I was telling you guys that the Trump administration is playing both sides because right before the breakout happened, RFK, he already knew about it. Now, when you go down the rabbit hole and you go to the Twitter account, I am Soothsayer, it says verbatim that the Hanta virus is going to break out in 2026. And that tweet was put out in 2022 because nothing in the simulation is a coincidence. Everything is pretty much premeditated. Now, the Trump administration is playing both sides because when you go to the Twitter account, it shows you the followers list. And when you go to the followers list, it's following everybody that's connected to the deep state shadow government that creates these psychological operations, such as the last scandemic that Bill Gates was connected to. Because all this is basically connected to the ideology of Elon Musk because he wants Neuralink to interface with these smart cities for the Agenda for 2030. That's what this is all about. And the crazy thing is that RFK knew it was going to happen because he laid off the sanitation inspectors days before the outbreak took place. Everything in the physical world has an esoteric and a spiritual meaning because when you look at the word Hanta, it's an anagram for the word Natha in Sanskrit, which is Lord of the Universe, Protector, and Master, which refers to Shiva because Krishna is the outer manifestation of Shiva and Shiva means 7, which is the Christ. So this Hanta virus is being used as a catalyst to take you away from your God self.
Yes, sir. Remember, they do anything to try to take you away from your higher self. Remember how we talked about the frequencies from the sun, the solar flare that's supposed to happen that David Wilcox was speaking about, that was saying that it's going to actually wake our genetics up and change everybody. It's already slowly changing us, but then that's a rapid thing that's supposed to happen. It's the quote-unquote reset. It's the reason why they're building bunkers. It's the reason why they're going underground. It's the reason why they've been shooting at the firmament. It's the reason why they've been trying to get out this place. Because would you want to be locked in here with a bunch of people that's going to activate, that's going to change humanity, that's going to have the power to just do whatever they want to the evil that exists? So that separation will happen, but they're trying to, keep as many slaves here with them as possible. So you decide what side of this you want to be on. But look, let's keep going. Smash that like button.
2024, you made 3 predictions that have come perfectly true. Like Trump would start a war with Iran. And you've made a series of new predictions.
Yes, and I'll explain each prediction one by one. Okay, so first, I predict that Trump will get a 3rd term.
But isn't this constitutionally illegal?
It's not. The president now has emergency war powers, and so he can actually delay the election. My 2nd prediction is Iran is now a forever war, and the United States will institute a national draft. Meaning that if you're between 18 to 24 in America and you're male, you'll be automatically put into the draft system. And they just passed a law that says that starting December, you will be automatically registered.
Which means you're obliged to go and fight.
Exactly. Next, the world will move towards an AI surveillance state. So everything you do online is being recorded to figure out how to control you. And then this is the most controversial prediction. This is pretty bad. And I'll explain why. And also, I will tell you why this war can only lead to World War III. Why there's a very strong possibility that the American empire will collapse. And also, I'll show you what the Russians will do and how the private bankers are controlling you.
I'm not owned by anybody.
That's what you think.
So let's talk about that.
Based on fear.
Okay, so I hadn't seen any of it. I had been running around all day. And then my girlfriend called and said, Jennifer, they showed up anyway. I said, but they cut nearly 30,000 jobs and gutted the Washington Post. They showed up anyway, posturing and posing, hoping to be the most. They cut $1 billion in funding for children's nutrition. And there they all were, vying for the next position. We're at war. And so many people are dying. I said to my girlfriend, tell me you're lying. How much fame do we need, y'all? How much more fame? Wow.
People be putting this stuff right in our face. Maybe I'm the one tripping. When I see this type of stuff, I don't see it how everybody else see it. You know, I see it from a different perspective. I see it through a different lens. Look at Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. When I was looking at Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, the first thing that caught my attention off the rip was A$AP Rocky looked like he was holding an apple. And I don't know why that caught my attention first. But after I'm looking at all of this other stuff, what are these people wearing? Then Rihanna popped up again. And I was looking at Rihanna and I was like, what about this like seems off? And I'm looking at what she's wearing and it immediately looked like a tree to me. And when I looked at her and I seen that what she was wearing looked like a tree, I remembered that A$AP Rocky was holding an apple in his hand on the side of that tree. And y'all remember the movie Pocahontas, right? Where they had that tree and the tree was talking. Outer part of Rihanna's dress looks like the outlining of the tree, and A$AP Rocky had an apple in his hand. Y'all remember when Adam and Eve ate from the tree? This don't look like a tree to y'all? It looked like a tree, and he has an apple in his hand, or what looks like an apple.
2026 Met Gala is demonic, but it's no surprise because every single year these celebrities show you exactly what they are about and what they represent. Because remember, this is supposed to be fashion for these people. But does this look fashionable to you?
Look at the hand over the eye. It's crazy to me.
Does this look like something that you would wear out in the public. I mean, this is very bizarre. And in this photo, of course, one of the eyes are covered. If you know, you know. And then here is Katy Perry's outfit. I mean, it's some type of weird robot mask. I mean, again, if you know, you know, especially with everything going on currently.
That's the faceless AI that they want to upload your consciousness to so they can control you. It's a reference. That's what I think.
Maybe this is what they really look like behind the scenes. It's no surprise because these celebrities always show you what they are about. And this year is no different from the rest because it is always truth in plain sight with these people. As always, this video is for entertainment purposes only. What do you think? Wake up.
The time has come. The UFO files have finally been released. Let's talk about it. But first, remember when they told us that politicians were allegedly eating babies and partaking in some kind of very dark ritualistic sacrifice and nobody did anything about it? Or that Trump is allegedly being controlled by Israel and that Jared Kushner is his handler and now we're at war with Iran? Or that he and Epstein allegedly did some things to a woman and that woman was later found suicided with her head blown off and the police said there was no way it could be a suicide and Kash Patel did nothing to investigate this? No, you don't remember any of that? Well, apparently we went to the moon and saw aliens.
Think about this. We're getting all of these distractions. Now we talk about distractions, but we already know over here that we're gonna walk this shit down, and it's nothing that you can distract us from because we on your ass about everything. Like our attention span, especially on this channel, very long. We're not short formatters over here. We don't have short attention spans. We actually, and these people, that's why I love this community, because people go out here and do their research. We actually sit down and we read things. We actually do research. And a lot of times, and sometimes we could be wrong about certain things, but that's what we got each other for, y'all, to keep each other on track and keep each other going forward. So we got momentum here. But as you can see, when it gets closer to them having to reveal unredacted stuff so we can see the whole file, why are these people's names hidden? We're still on them about that, so we haven't forgot over here. But now all of a sudden they want to give us more disclosure on aliens and stuff. No, we don't care about the aliens. Are they eating and touching children too? I know a couple of them are, but let's deal with y'all first. Unredacted names, give us everything, because that's not the complete file. But now they want to try to distract us with more aliens. Now we still on y'all too. We check this out, but we still looking at y'all the same. Let me know in the comments down below what we should do next, man.
Trump released 160 UFO files, and here's what we found.
Of course, watch this shit.
I'm just gonna say there's not much, but this video is the most interesting. It is a mysterious UFO shaped like a star with 8 points, all with various length legs, and it seems to be writing something in the sky. And of course, the internet's gone crazy trying to find out what message it was trying to deliver. This was the best photo from the files, but when you read the description about it, it's the site of where a UFO was seen, and then the FBI has lab-rendered graphic overlay depicting eyewitness reports, and this is from September of 2023. So not an actual photo, more of a sketch reenactment. I just can't help but wonder what these UFO experts and propulsion scientists would have had to say about this file release. War.gov/UFO is where you can find these files, and it says here that the government is unable to make a definitive determination on the nature of these UFOs.
I bet you can't. But I bet you if them scientists was alive, they'd be able to give us more and say, y'all wouldn't even dare put that out, man, if them scientists was still around. Come on now.
And President Trump's message is the people can decide for themselves what the hell is going on. Have fun and enjoy. I think what's going on with these files is a lot of nada, but as always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
stuff over and over, y'all. Same stuff over and over. They just think that we just stupid. They're just rubbing it in your faces. What are you gonna do about it? You know? Well, first of all, we're gonna talk about it first, and then can't say it on the internet, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, just answer it for me in the comments down below. Is all this just a coincidence to you, just by sheer luck that all of this stuff lines up the way that it lines up? Smash that like button, man. This is crazy over here.
There will be some shots fired tonight.
Armed person running through a checkpoint before shots were fired.
The very first public unveiling in a public presentation of Project Looking Glass. And what happens is when you fire this thing up, these rings start going in all different directions.
You're kidding. Yeah. Wow. Wait.
The Iraq War had to a large degree the mission of capturing a looking glass technology that was dug up in Sumer. So what they found that was so bizarre was that at December 21st, 2012, that for some reason all the graphs, all the waves would go into a complete flat line.
A blood sacrifice, there are these sacraments that they would do where they drink blood and then they go into an altered state, and they use that altered state to do very interesting stuff like out-of-body travel, where they can, what they call time travel, they'll actually go backwards in time. They can do this psychically, occupy like a bum who's drunk and passed out in a haystack, get him to wake up and go kill somebody, and then the whole timeline you're on changes, and the only person who remembers the old timeline is the one who jumped into the bum. Everybody else on Earth is on a different timeline. And they played around with that a lot. It's one of the high-level disciplines of the Illuminati.
So
most people don't talk about that because it's so disturbing.
So this is like remote viewing, but time travel remote viewing, where you actually take
occupy someone
possession.
else's body and use it to do things in the past, and you're fully conscious in that body while you're doing it.
The former head man at the post, he's not there now.
Okay.
Bradley.
Oh, yeah.
Bradley. At the editorial board meeting, they said, what is all this wheel stuff you're talking about? And I reached down in my bag and got out some facts. Jimmy Carter, before he became president, said he saw them. They were real to him. He said when he became president, he would open up the file. He never did. When a Japanese pilot was flying a 747 across the Bering Straits, he saw this huge wheel, and he said it looked like two of the largest aircraft carriers together. And the largest aircraft carriers, 440 yards in length, two of them would be a half a mile. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that that wheel was a half a mile by a half a mile. The government knows. The astronauts that go out in space, they know, but they can't talk. But I can. And I'm telling you, sir, that before you all can make mockery of me, you'll begin seeing these little wheels over the major cities. Then what are you going to tell the people after lying to them for so long that this is swamp gas, or this is a balloon, or this is that, when you know the truth, but you lied, not you personally, but the government has lied to the American people, and in the end, the people will lose all confidence in their government as a group of liars that hide the truth from the masses of the people to keep them under control. There's a greater power in the world than the United States of America, and you soon will come to know it.
And you think that that power presents himself in the form of these wheels, these UFOs, these kind of interspatial objects?
Ezekiel in the Bible, in I think it's 595 BC, looked up and he saw a vision of a wheel in the middle of a wheel. And Christians that I know in the Baptist church sing about this wheel in the middle of a wheel. The wheel that Ezekiel saw back then is a reality now.
Nobody's releasing anything. I mean, anything they release, they might just release, something to shut you up, perhaps a little tidbit. But first of all, I highly doubt that the presidents even have the information. So, no, you're not. There's no such thing as disclosure. That'll never ever happen. Never.
Well, there you go. Is that consensus here? George?
Absolutely agree.
Absolutely. I agree with that as well.
Yeah, I think we'll get some crumbs. There's a list of videos that we know where they are, and now Congress knows where they are. They've been demanding them. The president said, yeah, give some stuff over. We might get some of those videos, but there are really sensitive ones that we're not going to see. And they will fight tooth and nail to keep this stuff from coming out. There's not going to be an announcement by the president of any detail. I don't imagine. People who have talked to him have told him bits and pieces, but he's never had the briefing. Yeah, we've got this stuff. Here's where the bodies are. I don't think he's gone beyond hearing witness statements and pilots and things. And based on his comments, he doesn't seem all that interested in the issue. Luigi, what do you think?
I'm in agreement with you, George. I don't think that this is going to go as far as people would like it to go. I think there's a lot of popular conversations going around right now, and it's been going on for the last couple of years. All these congressional hearings, one which you were one of the witnesses, George.
But there you go. Told y'all, you get nothing. This is going to give you just enough. Well, we're not going to shut up. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, yeah, man, I agree as well. I agree, especially, like, knowing these people. They're not coming up off of the real information. And also that's going to create a lot of, how people just want that grand finale. Just like you holding on to an investment and you holding it for like 5 years and it never goes up. Then you sell it on the 6th, and then that 7th year it skyrockets to a price that is gonna never come back down to, and you just missed out on an investment of a lifetime. You just gotta have patience sometimes. And these things, no matter what they do, it's gonna get exposed, because look, after 2012, they can't see in the future anymore. And it's a reason why things are leaking the way that they're leaking. But look, let's get back into this video, man.
So you all heard of the Great Reset of 1776. There was a total wipeout, out with the old and in with the new, to proclaim the great New World Order. As you can see, it's taking place on this world today.
This is before AI.
This footage is from the Vatican, deep in the archives.
From the Vatican.
Even though I know for a fact this is not AI, I've done some deep checks with the AI checker.
This is not AI,
and as you can see, this is definitely legit footage. This is the Tartarian Wars, the old world wars, against the new world and the old world. I know what you're thinking. This looks like Star Wars or Star Trek. Well, guys, where do you think they got the inspiration from? You can't just make something out of nothing, remember? Everything came from the old world. And as you can see, there's Tartarian buildings and old world architecture all through this footage. So it's quite obvious that this was in Tartarian times of 1776 for the Great Reset, to abolish the old world. I know for some of you this is going to be like, no way this is real. But guys, everybody got reset. Their minds went blank. Before 1776, this realm was totally different. And we had technology like this.
So before we start saying that that video was AI or CGI, just so you're aware, about 8 years or so ago, I saw that video posted on YouTube. It was this Hispanic guy that I used to follow that used to post a lot of stuff from the dark web. Lo and behold, his page got removed and he was never to be found posting anything again. Recently, I was scrolling and I saw the video and I was compelled to come on and show y'all that these things have existed. These are ancient relics, right? And as you can see, they're depicted holding what? Technology. The one right behind me looks to have a cell phone. And this person over on the side has like a tablet. There's nothing new under the sun. History repeats itself. We've just been put in this amnesia state because they didn't want us to awaken to recognize and realize who we truly are. We hold the power. All these things have existed. But now they want to spoon feed us little by little and bring out technology and all these things. We are in the age of Aquarius. It's time for all of the things that have been hidden to be released, including all of the technology. So in this picture, we can see that they're holding some kind of interfacing technology. Looks like a cell phone. Looks like they may be doing some FaceTime, that type of deal, right? All these things have existed. There's nothing new under the sun, like I mentioned before, right? They're just hoping that we just never would have awakened to the highest version of ourselves. And that's why they fill us with lead, cadmium, mercury, aluminum. So they have access to the satellites and the 5G and 6G, 7G towers to keep our brains and keep our pineals calcified and distorted, right? Fill us up with parasites. So these parasites take over and control us and keep us in this amnesia state. That's why they do vaccines from the time that we're born to keep us functioning at a state where we never awaken. This is the age of Aquarius. Their time is up. Disclosure has to happen. All of these things are coming out for us to learn the truth that all of these things have existed. And yes, there hasn't been a reset. Like I mentioned, who knows if that reset was in the 1700s or the 1500s or whatever. We know it was a reset that happened. But now, it's the change of the guards. It's the age of Aquarius. And we're awakening. We are now remembering. Many of us are remembering who we are. So before I begin to talk about this situation, which is a very volatile situation, I want to say that my heart, and love and light I send out to this family, because I can only imagine as being a mother myself, right? So there's a thing called voice to skull technology. Let's talk about that really quickly. Voice to skull technology was created to be able to send waves or frequencies or even messages through sound or voice telling people to do things, right? So think about the lead, cadmium, mercury, aluminum, all of those things I mentioned, which are being pushed out in processed foods and all these things in our environment, the chemtrails, all of that. And people that are eating, prepackaged foods and all these things, and there's certain buttons and different things that they can push that can go, and these signals are sent directly to the brain waves that can make people do things that they normally wouldn't do. That technology exists, and this is exactly why we have to detox from all of those heavy metals and all of the parasites, because they can take over the body and make people do things they ordinarily wouldn't do. So here's another ancient relic, and what is he holding? It looks like a Wi-Fi signal, right? Again, nothing new. All of these things have existed. They just want you to believe that they've never existed. They want us to continue to be in a state of amnesia, sleep like, we just are so dumb that we don't know who we are. Many of us are these gods and goddesses return, the ancient ones, but that's a whole nother video. So what I'm really trying to say is that we have to continue to purge, detox, and remove all of these things because they're utilizing deceptive technology against us. They're utilizing all of these things in hopes that these vaccinations and all of the things that they continue to pump into us will keep us in a state of amnesia and just following through with their orders. That their time is up, y'all. We have to stand up for ourselves and take our power back. But the only way we can do that is by removing the parasites, removing the heavy metals, so that we can have our clear minds back and we can have decalcified pineals. Link in bio, JRC Collections. Peace and love.
One soft gel of ginkgo biloba with MCT oil can do more than boost your memory. Its plant compounds flow through the body, helping to sweep calcium deposits away.
Or believing this is natural. Find it in buildings.
No, I've been doing the deworming detox, and I let y'all know, like, I was having stomach inflammation, and that I'm pretty sure I had parasites, because start to go away after the parasite cleanse. Yeah, just had to give y'all an update. It's kind of scary.
Y'all are not ready for this one. The old world got smoked. This used to be a city. These structures melted buildings. There was a cataclysm, melted the whole thing down. These are petrified buildings. There was once a worldwide empire that was completely wiped out, and you can still find it if you got the eyes to see. That is a whole bridge. Does that look like a natural formation to you? Is that natural? What about here? Are we believing this is natural? You got an entryway, you got a small door, you got some rebar sticking out. I mean, that is a whole dome up top. I think it's pretty clear what this looks like. And now over here, giant castle. Look at the melted doorways. Look at the vertical saturated lines. The top of this building, you can see a spire. Now right here, come on, this one's obvious. Perfectly right angles, archways, openings, anything but natural. A lot of these places have pockets of survival, and you can see the remains, and once you see it everywhere. Especially in the places that they claim were carved out of stone, like Petra or Cappadocia. Personally, I think Cappadocia could have been the real Tower of Babel. They found that this place actually goes so far as 18 stories deep, and 80% of it is still unexplored. I'm pretty sure the whole thing was above ground at one point. An advanced civilization trying to usurp God, and then we got all these different languages. Now, the structures at sites like these, they get marshmallowed, crisped, smoked on the outside, and yet inside they're completely preserved. In Psalms it says, the hills melted like wax at the presence of Yahweh. And that's exactly what it looks like. You think they made these fancy brick arches inside, and then made the outside look like crap? And then you look at places like this, I see skyscrapers. Look here in Italy, Russia, Turkey, all the same thing. We see the same style of stacking everywhere. What we have is a real Sodom and Gomorrah, fire from the sky event. And these places melted like wax, and then likely washed away after. Now let's take a look at the Grand Canyon. Sphinx in Egypt, Sphinx at the Grand Canyon. So this is a whole face on a structure. Yeah, and they even tell you all these sites are called pyramids and temples named after their false gods. Now why would they do that? Because they know, and that's why so many of these areas are restricted. Go see my video on the Grand Canyon. This could have been the original Egypt. They lie about everything. Now what about over here in Pakistan? It's no doubt once you see it, you can't unsee it. Something crazy happened in our past. Earthquakes, fire from the sky, floods, cataclysms. There has been so much erased from our history.
Don't it seem like it was a war? Some type of war, right?
But it's all hidden in plain sight.
Some type of reset? I wonder.
This was our world before the Tower of Babel. It's obvious to me from the architecture worldwide that we lived in a unified society. We spoke the same language, we used all the same roads, and we were at peace. We had ether energy, which is the energy from the heavens. Does this mean we could speak to God directly? Could we speak to angels because of this energy? Is that why these buildings had to be destroyed? These worldwide beautiful buildings that gave us access to heaven. And then the enemy came, and they bombed and bombed and bombed us. We still see the depressions of these bombings. We still see stone buildings melted into unrecognizable rubble. What kind of weapons melt rock? Certainly none that we know. And then angels came and cut down our giant trees. They say so that the giants couldn't escape. This leads me to believe that maybe the giants were on our side, and that's why we can't know about them. That's why their bones are in the Smithsonian, and we're told that they were dinosaurs, not humans. And then the enemy wasn't finished. They had to eliminate any buildings that were still standing before we figured out how these buildings worked. So we had war after war after war until our beautiful cities were left in rubbles. Will this continue? Are we going to see any remaining buildings taken out in another war?
You're probably not going to believe this story, but what if the big UFO reveal isn't aliens from space, but something far darker claiming to be your creator? Reports are circulating that a group of pastors from the United States have been invited to a special meeting with Christians involved in the intelligence community and apparently having high clearance to discuss the coming alien disclosure. They were also addressed by a sitting US congressman from Missouri, Eric Burleson. And so over the speakerphone, he said to the pastors, "Are you listening to me?" They replied, "Yes, we're listening." And he went on to say the following: "Go and tell the churches that they are not ready for what is coming. There's going to be an alien disclosure, and what they're going to say is that they're from another dimension, and they are our creators. They actually created mankind, and they are the ones that placed us here. There's no such thing as God. There's no such thing as Jesus and the Bible. They all invented that." And he continued to say to the pastors, "Go and study the days of Noah. If you see how Noah reacted and what he did, you must do the same." So basically, he told them to be prepared for what is coming. Equip yourself, skill yourself, know how to answer the questions, because people will be very confused and it's going to shock the world. And so the big question is, will this cause the great falling away, the apostasy that Paul writes about? Now, I've been talking about this topic for many years, and if you want to understand the whole alien phenomenon, you need to study demonology. Let me give you a tip. Do not go into fear, because these entities breed, they feed off low vibrational energy, and that is fear. Why do you think Jesus says so often in the Bible, "Do not fear, do not fear"? There's a reason for that. Is this uncertain times, scary time for some people? I say again, don't fear. This possible disclosure coming of these beings, just remember one thing: they are not the final authority, although they say so.
Just happened at the Met Gala. Take a look at this. It all started with Katy Perry and her 6 fingers. Tons of people are talking about this, but few know what it actually means. And no, this isn't just random AI weirdness. The Bible actually mentions people with 6 fingers, but they aren't just normal people. 2 Samuel describes a war at Goth. There was a man of great stature who had 6 fingers, and he was descended from the giants. But wait, why are giants relevant? Well, that's where this gets wild. Katie went on to boldly flaunt a tarot card on the red carpet, the Magician, which is specifically associated with manifestation and turning spiritual energy into physical reality. So how does this all connect? Let me cook for a sec. When I search this in Logos, we see that scripture traces giants to a transgression that breached the boundary between divine and human realms. The sons of God, aka fallen angels, found human women attractive and took them as wives, after which the Nephilim appeared on the earth as offspring. These Nephilim hybrids were wiped out by Noah's flood. But here's the curveball. Jesus warned that the last days would be like the days of Noah. So when we put all of this together, a pattern emerges. So when Katy Perry shows up with a 6-finger glove, an alien mask, and tarot card imagery, the theme isn't just weird fashion. It visually points to an altered humanity, mankind corrupted, the human image distorted, and creation twisted away from what God designed.
James Goldstein. Who he is to the NBA is who Michelle Lemmy is to the hip-hop industry. Because one thing you got to understand about our world is basically ran by corporations. And every organization, whether if it's corporate, political, or cultural, is being ran by a hidden force. Because they're going to show you the owners and the CEOs, but the hidden force is the unseen hand. The unseen hand is the covenant, the contract that they made with dark covenants when you're talking about draconian magic. So the inception of James Goldstein bloodline comes from the Canaanite bloodline. So that means that he's a hybrid Albion Ashkenazi Jew. And that bloodline in itself is interconnected to Vladimir the Impaler, who is the real Count Dracula. So when you get to the inception of the Goldstein, when you look at the etymological roots, it comes from the Yiddish language. and Yiddish culture comes from Zionist culture. So that's how you know that they're basically the epitome of the synagogues of Satan. So that means that you got dark forces, hidden hands that runs the great majority of these corporations and these organizations. What people got to understand is that every industry is ran by witches and warlocks. I'm going to say it again. Every industry is ran by witches and warlocks, because when you understand the occult, when you understand etymology and bloodline, you will understand the inception of these dark forces, right? Because when you understand names like Silverstein, Goldstein, and Bergstein, those are all Yiddish language. And that Yiddish language is interconnected to the Order of the Dragon, which is a secret society. The Order of the Dragon is a secret society that practices draconian magic, that basically interfaces with corporations, that is controlled by dark forces. Now, one thing that I found interesting about James Goldstein is that he has a club called Skyspace. It's a subterranean club in the caverns of LA. Now, when you go to the 1930s, it speaks of a newspaper talking about how there's a subterranean kingdom that is ran by lizard people, right? So there's a correlation to that. Now, this is also in alignment with the jinn when you're talking about the Holy Quran, because in the Holy Quran, it speaks of jinn being lizard people. So there is a dark force, or, you know, draconian entities on the planet that control the great majority of these corporations. I'm going to show you this video that basically extrapolates that knowledge.
Jinn races, many of them look like lizards, literally. And as a result, if their frequency enters into people and occupies that person, they create that barrier.
I was right! Blue Ivy's wearing sunglasses. Beyonce is dressed as a skeleton. Here's a photo for the picture of the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. Season 3. A commenter pointed out in my video that this is the same cover as the cult classic They Live. Here is a bigger image of it. What is the movie about, you may ask? A drifter who discovers special sunglasses revealing that the world is secretly controlled by skull-faced aliens using subliminal messages in media to keep humanity subdued. I have an entire 18-minute video pinned to my profile. I promise you, I think it's accurate. Woo!
Woo! What another amazing video, man. Look, share these videos with your friends and families, y'all. Look, it's been a long day for me, man, but I'm still kicking it. I still got to be up tonight, man. I'm gonna sleep for like 3 days after this, but man, I've been on the road, man. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all got something from it. There's a lot of gems being dropped in this video right here. Just go back and rewatch, especially the beginning, and you will see. Now that you've seen the complete version of the video, go back to the beginning, and then it'll make more sense. If you, I'm pretty sure you missed something. It's a lot of dots that were connected during this video, and it's kind of concerning. But at the same time, we don't resonate with fear over here. We see the information, we find a solution for it, and we pivot. Certain people, we have to understand, bro. We can't save everybody. We save ourselves. We don't look for somebody from the sky to come save us. We save ourselves first. Like I keep telling y'all, if we have, look, if you have a higher power that you believe in, for instance, if like a parent, that's your parent, right? Pretty much your father, your mother, whatever type of relationship you have with a higher power. Let me know in the comments down below who's yours. Just asking for a friend, but at the same time, I would be disappointed if I came and my son was waiting on me to save him from a bully that was whooping on him. No, I'd be a proud father if I seen that my son was defending himself, no matter win, lose, or draw. If you defended yourself and you did the best you can do, that's all I can ask for as a parent. You know, I don't want you being out here being weak and being out here getting stepped on. And the same that I would resonate with my higher power is nobody stepping on my bloodline. If you're a part of the source creation, then you should start acting like such. Take your power back, understand who the hell you are, and stand on business, man. But look, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I see y'all in the next video. But like I always say, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. Love you guys. I see y'all in the next video. And I'm out though. Blah.